Hello students. So welcome to Pravegaa education. So welcome to foundation course of IIT JAM that is absolutely live on the YouTube. So students, if you want to join, you can join as soon as possible. So in last class we have discussed all about so Nitin IIT JAM 25 के लिए हम लोग अलग से सेशन कर लेंगे व्हाट शुड बी टिप्स एंड टारगेट एंड किस तरह से प्रिपरेशन करनी चाहिए. सो आई विल जस्ट रिकमेंड दिस थिंग टू आवर टीम एंड वी विल मेक अ प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली. ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट द थिंग, है ना. जो हम लोगों ने लास्ट क्लास में बात की थी, वी विल जस्ट ट्राई टू go for the problem onto this particular session. Okay, just how to find the relative velocity mainly, and everyone should know that this is mainly for the IIT JAM 2026 and 2027. So ये हमारे पास है. Yes, everything is helpful for IIT JAM 2025, Nitin. Because क्वेश्चन तो कहीं से भी आ सकते हैं. Yes, and it will, so whatever the course we are doing, that is naturally helpful for 2025, but we are making the target for 2026 and 27 such that we can finish it in that time. But आप अगर current moment की बात करोगे, it is 100% beneficial to you, and in fact you can get some question also from this part. Okay, okay. So चलो let's start with this particular thing. So last में हम लोगों ने क्या किया था? We have done little bit of inertial frame के बारे में हमने बात किया था. We have talked about inertial frame. And if I am talking about inertial frame, that means I am talking about two frame, and let's say this frame is inertial, that is S frame. That means it is moving with respect to another frame with a constant speed. So there is another frame, that frame is what? S dash, and S dash is moving with respect to S with velocity v in I cap direction. And what we have? We have some particle, and that particle have component of velocity ux, uy, uz from S frame, and the same point have component of velocity from ux dash, uy dash, uz dash from S dash frame. And what we have? We have velocity of particle with respect to S dash. That is all about, you can write ux dash I cap, uy dash j cap, and uz dash k cap. So this is we have, and what we have, velocity of particle in S is what? Ux I cap, uy j cap, and uz k cap. And what we have to do, we have to just figure it out. What will be relationship between ux and ux dash, uy and uz dash, and uz, and similarly all this thing I j k are the independent direction you can talk. And the most important thing is, what is velocity of S dash with respect to S, and this is given v in I cap direction. So this is the whole story, and hence this is into I cap direction. The relative velocity is only in the I cap direction. So this is very interesting. So what you have, velocity of a particle with respect to S is equal to velocity of particle with respect to S dash plus velocity of a S dash with respect to S. And this is for the I cap direction. So this is for I cap direction, and what will happen for Y cap direction? That must be equal to velocity of particle with S dash in J cap direction, and that will be velocity of particle with S, velocity of particle with S dash in K cap direction. So this can be written as, if you will go, this can be written as Ux is equal to Ux dash plus V. And you can write ui is equal to ui dash and uz is equal to uz dash. So this is the story you can easily calculate here. Okay, so this is very interesting thing. And what we can do, we will just try to use this concept and try to do 3 different type of problem, and you will see all problem will be associated to these 3 case study, almost all the problem. Okay, so let us try to solve step by step each and every problem, and then you can take any problem from any book of the relative speed, you can easily solve it. Okay, and at this point of time I can also make a statement that or announcement that we have created a basically WhatsApp group also. Those students who want to discuss or you want to get some extra questions, some doubt session, you can join that particular WhatsApp group also. So I think our team will give you the link of the WhatsApp. You can just send the request to join this particular thing, or you can call it and we will just allow you to join that particular group. But yes, you have to always keep in mind that you have to be very disciplined and very careful about handling this particular group. Okay, because I know that this group is going to be one of the big group, because this is just initial time that we have started. Once people know about it, then everybody will turn towards it. Okay, so let's try to go for a next. So we will go for 3 different case study. So the first case study is very interesting. We have some reference frame, and this is inertial frame sigma. So this is your first question, you can say, and we will just solve it, and after then you can just apply this concept to any problem. Okay, so what you have a particle 1, let's say this is your particle 1, and it is moving with velocity u1 in I cap direction, and there is particle 2, it is moving p2 and this velocity u2 in I cap direction. The particle 1 have given velocity with respect to sigma, and particle 2 is given velocity with respect to p1. So this is the story given it, and let us try to decode all this story. So what is this story? So this is velocity. So we have to write first so this is velocity of a p1 with respect to sigma is equal to u1 I cap direction. Velocity of a p2 with respect to sigma is given u2 in I cap direction. So what we have to do, we have to calculate velocity of sorry, it is not with respect to sigma, it is with respect to p1. This is with respect to p1. Okay, just a minute. So this is so this is given p2 with respect to p1 is equal to u2 I cap. What you have to do, you have to calculate velocity of p2 with respect to sigma. This is your first question. So you will try to solve 3 different type of questions. This is your first question. So you can just assume something like this. So there is a earth, with respect to earth, there is a rocket, and with respect to rocket, there is some missile is going. This kind of thing. Or you can have very famous stream and boat question. So with respect to bank, stream is moving. With respect to stream, boat is moving. So this type of questions is there. What you have to do, we have to calculate velocity of p2 with respect to sigma. So if you remember my last class, if you are going to remember my last class, then what you will find? You will find we have first S frame, there is S dash frame, and there is a particle. And every time we will calculate velocity of a particle with respect to S. And this thing will be given into your problem. What you have to do? You have to just decode this one. So velocity of S dash with respect to S. So this must be given, and velocity of particle with respect to S dash, this must be given. So this will given, this will given. You have to calculate this one. And each and every time I will use velocity of a particle with respect to S is velocity of this is your mother formula, velocity of a particle with respect to S dash plus velocity of s dash with respect to s. You have to use this particular formula each and every time. Okay? So let us try to go for this particular thing. Okay? So just let's try to solve this particular problem, है ना? इसको जरा देखने की कोशिश करते हैं कैसे हम कर पा रहे हैं. So now in the problem you have to identify what is your S frame and what is your particle. So here my S frame is sigma and this is my particle. The remaining thing will be your S dash. So what is your S dash? So S frame is sigma. So this is my S frame. P1 will be remaining thing. So this will be my S dash. This will be my S dash. And this will be my particle. Okay? So here we have write each and everything. Okay. And obviously each and everything in I cap direction. So this is very simple one. So what do you have? Velocity of a particle with respect to s is equal to velocity of particle with respect to s dash. So this is the thing. Velocity of a particle with respect to s dash in my notation is u2. So this value is u2 plus velocity of s dash with respect to s, and this value is u1. So your answer is equal to velocity of a particle with respect to s is this one. So what you will get? Velocity of P2 with respect to sigma is basically velocity of P2 with respect to, what is U2? U2 is basically your P1 plus velocity of a P1 with respect to sigma. So this thing you can easily decode it and you can easily solve this particular problem. Everyone? I think everyone is comfortable? Yes, students? Are you people comfortable here? Chalo. So let us try to go for second part, second question. So this is a straightforward question. Second question is more interesting, and then we will go for third one. So let's try to go for third one. So Shivam is also interested for 2024. Yes, Shivam, this will be benefited, but thing is that we will not promise that we will complete the course up to 2025. But up to that topic, जो भी आप complete देखते जाओगे, that will 100% benefited to your examination. And I am 100% sure that some question will come onto all these concepts. Okay? Chalo. So let us try to go for second one. And students, remember this thing. This concept we will also use into a special theory of relativity. Only their formula is going to change. Okay? So let us try to go for next particular problem. So what we have? We have basically, let's say we have some inertial frame sigma, and with respect to sigma, the particle is moving P1, which is moving with U1, and with respect to sigma, the particle is P2, that is moving with velocity U2 in I cap direction. So I am just putting in I cap direction. So this is again a very interesting problem. So what you have to do? You have to just go for that velocity of a particle with respect to sigma, it is given, and it is P1 with respect to sigma is equal to U1 in I cap direction, and then velocity of a P2 with respect to sigma is equal to U2 in I cap direction. So you have to be very much careful. Every time I will try to use the same formula and we have to solve it completely. Every time we will use the same formula. So what is going to happen? P2 sigma, U2I. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate velocity of a P1 with respect to P2. And everybody know that answer will be P1 minus P2. But how you are getting this one? This is very interesting. Because this all small concept leads to one beautiful next. Then you can, if you know these all simple and small concept, then only you can do the tougher problem. Okay? So what is there? We have to calculate velocity of a P1 with respect to P2. Again, you will go for the same method. You have S frame, you have S dash frame, you have particle. Every time I will calculate velocity of a particle with respect to S, and it is given velocity of S dash with respect to S and velocity of a particle with respect to S dash. This will given. Every time we have to calculate this particular thing. So what will happen? So what we have? Velocity of a particle with respect to S frame is velocity of a particle with respect to S dash plus velocity of S dash with respect to S. So what we have to do? We have to only identify what is my S frame, what is my S dash frame, and what is my particle. So only we have to identify this particular thing. Now you can just check. So in a problem it is given. What we have to do? We have to calculate velocity of a P1 with respect to P2. So velocity of a P1 with respect to P2 you have to calculate. So what I will do? I will put P2 as my S frame, P1 is my S dash frame. Sorry, P1 is my particle, not S dash. P1 is my particle. What we will do? Now we will identify what is my S dash frame. So look at here. P1 is your particle, P2 is your S frame, then the remaining thing will be your S dash. The remaining thing is your S dash. Now, you can just use the code velocity of particle with respect to S dash. So velocity of particle with respect to S dash, this is your U1 plus you have to go for velocity of S dash with respect to S. But here you can see it is given velocity of S with respect to S dash. Here is given velocity of S with respect to S dash. But what we have to do? We have to find velocity of a particle with velocity of S dash with respect to S in my notation. So what will be this value? If velocity of a S with respect to S dash is equal to U2, then velocity of S dash with respect to S is minus U2. So here it will come that value is equal to minus U2. And what will be your answer? U1 minus U2. Obviously everything is in I cap direction, so there is not any problem. Okay? So you can see how you are getting the negative sign. And suppose P2 is moving into or P1 is moving into this direction, then obviously the thing will be different. So this is your homework. You can, if you want, you can solve this one. So this is your P2, which is moving with velocity U2, and this is something like P1 moving with velocity U1 with respect to sigma, and both are moving in opposite direction. So what will be your speed? And here you will see that your speed, relative speed, means the speed of P1 with respect to P2 is going to add on. So you can easily solve this one. So this is the second type of question you have to prepare. What is meaning of that? You have simply, there is a basically Earth. With respect to Earth, there is one spaceship. With respect to Earth, there is another spaceship, and you can find the speed of one spaceship with respect to another spaceship. Very simple, very straightforward, and you can use this concept and you can easily solve the problem. Very simple and very straightforward concept we are going to use. Okay? Chalo. So, is that any? Chalo. So let's try to go for my final model. What is this particular final model? The final model is what we are going to do. This is again my frame sigma. This is again an inertial frame. And what you have? You have basically P1 is moving with U1 and P2 is moving with U2, and the angle between them is theta. And this is very interesting. The angle between them is theta. So what we have to do, we have to calculate what is velocity or magnitude. Actually, we have to calculate what is the speed of P1 with respect to P2. So now this is very interesting. How you will approach this type of problem. इस तरह के problem को कैसे approach करोगे, ये बड़ा ही important है. So when we have to go for this type of problem, this is very interesting. How you will get this one? Just think, students, how you will approach this one. अभी तक तो हर बार क्या हो रहा था? All things are moving in X direction. Now, how you will use this concept to solve this particular problem? This is very interesting. How we will use this particular concept? Just I am giving you 2 minutes. You can just think कैसे हम इसको आगे लेकर जा सकते हैं. Okay, just think. So now, what is idea? Idea is very simple. What I will do, I will just assume this is my x direction, because we have to calculate velocity of P1 with respect to P2. Means we have to sit on P2 and then we have to watch P1. So what we will do, we are just assuming this P2, the motion of P2 is along x cap direction. Then everything have been done very easily. So now what will happen, if I am assuming this is along x cap direction, then I can resolve this P1 into 2 parts. This part is equal to U1 sine theta, obviously in j cap direction, and another is this part is equal to U1 cos theta in I cap direction. Now we can easily solve this problem in a very nice way. What will this? We have velocity of a P2 with respect to sigma. We will say it that is U2 in I cap direction. I deliberately put this is my I cap direction because we have to calculate velocity of P2 with respect to P1. And when you are writing this thing, velocity of P1 with respect to sigma, I will write it in a vector form, and this value is equal to U1 cos theta I cap direction plus U1 sin theta in j cap direction. U1 cos theta in I cap direction and U1 sin theta in j cap direction. So this is the concept. Now we have to only take care about I because the relative velocity is along I cap direction. In y cap direction, both will have same velocity. So now we will just go for, so what we have to do, we have to calculate velocity of particle with P1 with respect to P2, and we have to calculate actually magnitude. So P2 is my S frame and P1 is my particle. So again I will put it here. P2 is my S frame, P1 is my particle, and this is my S dash frame. This is my S dash frame. So what I have to do for the I cap direction? So for the I cap direction, velocity of a particle with respect to S, velocity of a particle with respect to S dash, plus velocity of S dash with respect to S dash S in I cap direction. But what will happen into y cap direction? For y cap direction, velocity of a particle with respect to S is equal to velocity of particle with respect to S dash, that is in j cap direction, because this term is along I cap direction, whatever we have considered. So now we can just go for this one. So what is velocity of a particle with respect to S dash? In I cap direction is this one. This one is the thing. So you have velocity of a particle with respect to S, and this value is equal to U1 cos theta. And what is velocity of S dash with respect to S? In I cap direction, it is given velocity of a S with respect to S dash, and we have to write velocity of a S dash with respect to s, and this is nothing but minus u2. So we can easily use this thing. So this value is minus u2. So this is the thing. And what about this one? This one will be exactly same thing. So that is u1 sine theta. And when we are going to calculate the magnitude, so magnitude is P1, P2, and that value is equal to, you can have x direction square. So u1 cos theta minus u2 whole square and plus u1 sine theta whole square. So what will happen? You can easily calculate this one. So this value is equal to u1 cos square theta, u1 sin square theta is u1 square plus u2 square minus 2 u1 u2 cos theta. So this will be your magnitude. So students, you can easily use this concept and you can easily solve each and every problem from this particular method. And now you can go for any book and you can just try to solve your problem up to IIT JAM level from the inertial frame or relative speed. So students, if you want more question, you should join our WhatsApp group. I will send some beautiful question from in that particular group. And then if you want, I will discuss it into next class. But next class, I will go for a very basic concept of average speed, instantaneous speed, and all about the concept using the graph. इसके ऊपर हम लोग बात करने की कोशिश करेंगे. And then we will go for Newton's law. So students, again I am saying, if you are preparing for 2025, then obviously this is always beneficial for you. But we are mainly going to focus on 2026 and 27. We will just do our course on that pace that we can finish this all course before 2026, and obviously 2027 cycle will be also there. So students, you can just share this information, and I think you will get the WhatsApp link also under this particular video. You can just join this WhatsApp group to get some more problem and little bit of doubts and all this thing. Thank you, students. So if you have any doubt, you can. Chalo.